everyone, this is GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
How's everybody doing? I have a cold, full disclosure.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
In the super seat this week, Michael Huber.
I probably gave you that cold
probably
yesterday,
did,
the day
punk.
before.
And in the booth, safe from our germs, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
It's great in here.
Was not safe from the germs of the last person that used that, but at least that wasn't today. That was probably you, actually, because we were
was
in here
me.
last night.
Ian was the last
See,
person to...
my voice already cracked.
Yeah, I like it,
Hi,
Jones.
everybody.
A different perspective on Jones.
Yeah.
He's out of control. Jones always has perfect control of his voice, and now it's like he can't harness his power as well.
Oh, man. I did Barnum my junior year in high school, and I was Barnum. Oh, man. And
No, okay, hold on. Back up a little
totally
more.
lost
What
my
is
voice.
Barnum? What is-
P.T. Barnum?
P.T. Barnum, the circus owner.
Yeah, is this a musical?
Sick.
Yeah, it was the guy who reads the Harry Potter books was the original Barnum. I can't think of his name. Famous British actor. But totally lost my voice, and that was terrifying. Going out on stage and just like opening up my mouth and being like, I hope I sang
Well, what did you sound like?
like this, like a frog.
So
So it was
you
only
sound-
for a couple of performances, just one weekend, but that was terrifying.
Awesome.
Yeah, like you're saying, like, out of control. You say that, it's immediately what I think of. Just
Yeah.
like it's creepy. It's kind of like rock climbing or something, and like you want your like arm to lift you up, and your arm's just like nope.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, but I feel like
Parts of
now
your body are like, not today.
you get to experience what speaking is like for the rest of us. We don't have that control
Right? Yeah,
that
I'm a
Jones
plebe.
has.
I'm a speaking plebe.
This
say
is
pleb
this
on
is
the
what he's
show.
gonna sound like when he reads your quotes too. Unfortunately.
No, I know. Well, I'll
That's
have
why
some tea.
he's
or
gonna
That's
something.
heal
why
up.
you gotta cut out dairy. That's why I'm lactose intolerant.
I'll put my best foot
That's
forward.
why
No
you're
way.
lactose intolerant.
It is because we were doing Joseph,
Okay.
and I was Joseph, and the guy said like milk stimulates mucus production, and I never liked dairy anyway, so I cut it out. I stopped doing it, and then like 6 months later, we're done with the run, and then I'm lactose intolerant because my body stopped producing lactase. But anyway, it's all good. It's better for your
There it
voice.
is.
You'd make a good pharaoh, I think. I'd like to see Ian Hink's pharaoh
My friend Joe,
and
who's
Joseph
6'9",
and the amazing
was
Technicolor
Pharaoh,
Dreamcoat.
and he did it like Elvis, and it was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was great.
musicals, I'm not a fan of. Michael
On
Huber,
this episode of Theater
There are
Talk.
better
Yeah.
musicals than those two.
you're in the super seat right now. We have a question for you.
Okay.
Here's what happens. You've woken up in the body of Sean Diddy Combs. You don't know how long this will last, so you call up one musical artist to collaborate with on one song. Who do you choose?
Elton John.
Fantastic answer.
Elton John and P. Diddy.
Yeah.
A collaboration that would never happen.
Right, but you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of song are you going to make?
Some kind of like some epic like 9-minute rock opera with like crazy piano parts, and then P. Diddy comes in and just starts rapping, and Elton John's like getting into it.
But
Yeah,
wait,
I can
wait,
see it.
wait.
This is
here's-
such a good song, dude.
This is my question, though.
Yeah.
Does he have the musical acumen of
He
Sean
does.
Combs or himself?
You wake up in his body and you have like some of the innate abilities.
Okay.
Like he'll still have for some reason some Huber exuberance that day.
So it's not like being John Malkovich, where you're just kind of you.
Right. He'll have like some
Or
of the
do you
same.
have some of Malkovich's powers in that too? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think you do.
No.
So
'Cause
yeah,
the one
yeah.
guy wanted to be a puppeteer, and so he did that.
Way to
John
hijack
Malkovich.
Huber's answer.
No, that's
No,
all. I
I
was
just-
finished.
You know,
I just want clarification on this.
Well, and we need clarification, obviously, too, for like
because
how.
Huber and Puffy Combs have very different musical
This is true.
talent.
How long is
Puffy
he in
he does
Puffy's
not accept
body?
anymore. Sorry?
How long is he in there?
For one day. Well, actually, we don't know how
You
long
don't
it's going to
know how
last.
long, yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
the question states that we get one day with a musical artist.
I
Okay,
think
but
they
it
could
did-
crank
Yeah.
that epic out. I mean, those are two masterminds.
But that's
So-
my thing. Is
My
like,
interpretation is
you're
you would
not a
just be the one to
mastermind.
make the deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, what
Sean-
happens when Huber leaves?
Yeah, Sean
and P. Diddy
Combs
like
wakes up
sues, like
2 months
Elton John,
later.
'cause he's like, we never collaborated. I didn't, I didn't write no song with you.
It'd be so good he couldn't deny it.
Yeah. It's going to.
He'd like get a call. It's Elton John. It's like, yo, P. Diddy, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
His song's coming out.
P. Diddy only admits it on his deathbed. He's like, I didn't write that song.
There was one day of my life.
I can't remember. Realistically, though, you'd like make the call to Elton John, and then months later, when you're not in his body anymore, Elton
No.
John shows up.
Maybe you. We're talking about Sean Diddy Combs.
Would you tell
I
us when he
guess.
came back? Like, did you tell How many people
No,
would you tell? Would you
wouldn't
just
tell
keep it to
anyone.
yourself, take it
Yes,
to the grave?
not a soul.
Nobody.
Whoa. I would tell everybody.
Bury
Even
me
when
with
Kyle
that
brings it
disc,
up, like
though,
Kyle
yeah.
starts playing on YouTube, he's like, "Did you see this? Like Owen John PD
I'd just
collaborated."
be like, that's a good song.
We need to.
Wait,
That's a good song.
wait. You can tell everybody that this is your song.
Oh, stop it.
Nice.
We're done. No one's gonna top that. We gotta move on.
We need to start corrections. Begin corrections music, please. The name of my favorite song, turns out, is just Let Down. Not all amiibo did something in Super Mario Maker. Not all amiibo do something in any game, in fact.
Burnt.
A lot of them have like random prizes, and people are like, a lot of, but like, no, I don't count random prizes as a thing an amiibo does uniquely. Brad claimed that Nintendo officially announced that they were working on a new Metroid game. This is simply untrue. There already is a Sarlacc pit in
I
one
was
of
gonna
Battlefront's
say.
Tatooine maps.
I would have known that if that was true.
Yeah. Whoa. How did we said there weren't?
Yeah, we'd be like, oh, it'd be cool if they had a Sarlacc pit. And like,
Yeah,
no,
that doesn't mean there wasn't a Sarlacc already. That was in the trailer.
Yeah,
So Boba Fett like almost fall into it.
Hey,
I
man.
don't know. That's not a correction.
that's a correction. You should have corrected us last week.
You said it'd be cool if they put a Sarlacc in there.
No, I didn't say that.
We didn't say, oh, it'd be cool if we could put a Sarlacc in there so Sarlacc could finally be in Battlefront because there's been a sore lack of Sarlacc. It's like, no.
The implication,
said it'd be
I think
cool
there's
on that
only
map.
one Sarlacc pit, isn't there?
Jones
Yeah,
on
but if you
top of
put
his
it on two different
wordplay.
locations in multiplayer maps, I'm not gonna,
That
like,
would be
cry
a
foul.
travesty to the lore.
Yeah, lore of,
I don't
Star
know.
Wars?
The lore of Vader and Luke with lightsabers
Well,
clashing
yeah.
on the
That's a good
tundras of
point.
Hoth, like lore.
That's a good
Get out of here with
point.
your
Is the
lore.
That's a
Sarlacc
good
just
point.
like an ancient creature and all the others have been exterminated? I mean, why is there only one?
You guys remember that Boba Fett, Emperor, Vader, Leia, Han,
Yeah,
Luke
true.
fight on Tatooine? Remember that, right? That
It was a
an
good
epic
fight.
It was
Yeah,
epic.
Episode 6.
I'm
was
gonna
in the
say-
comics.
I'm going to say there's more than one Sarlacc.
It's expanded universe.
Yeah.
It's Chibi Robo Zip Lashed, not Zip Line. Quick shout out to Sonic Shenmue, who did an excellent write up on how stupid we are about Nintendo. Just a really long entry, and I appreciated the effort. Like lists. You know, you're right. We are stupid about Nintendo. And correction of the week. This is from Entropy ++, just like how this correction is worded. NPD used to stand for National Purchase Diary, like the WWE or KFC, though. It's an orphan italicism, meaning that now officially stands for nothing except simply NPD.
Initialism.
Initialism.
I was going to say,
Orphan
italicism
initialism.
is not the right word there.
Yep. I'm bad at like reading.
Kentucky
That's
Fried
true,
Chicken's
yeah.
still on a lot of buildings, though.
Sorry?
Kentucky Fried Chicken is still on a lot of their
I do
buildings.
see
Fried
that.
Children.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. IGN, also an orphan initialism.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's totally weird.
What did
one.
it used to mean?
It was Imagine Games Network,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought it was like a. Never mind.
which was tied to Imagine Media, which, of course, they're no longer tied to Imagine Media, so that's why it's a big weirdo thing.
Just digging this tune right now. End corrections music, please. Y'all know my favorite way to start an episode of GT Time?
Talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja
Game
Turtles.
A
announcement.
game announcement. Platinum Games is making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. That's real. All those rumors are true and has been officially announced this week. Activision Publishing. Huber, you're already pumped. Let's just get
So
into it.
pumped.
Let's just dig in. Why are you pumped for this
I
game?
love Platinum. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I love 4-player co-op.
4-player online co-op in this
Yes.
game.
This game is going to be sick. Transformers Devastation is the point of comparison I make. And that is a solid game. I am way more into the Turtles lore and the Turtles aesthetic than I am
I
Transformers.
feel like this game is too.
So-
The announcement trailer is all about lore.
Yeah.
Like sets up like here's the set. Here's exactly who you'll be fighting. Here's the night it all takes place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
because
Transformers
Transformers,
is just
we
kinda
always
like-
just saw the big Constructicons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Transformers was very, it was kind of disjointed. You were going on this mission to stop one of the Transformers, and that was it. This seems way more in tune with what is happening. Showing April O'Neil and Shredder just like standing on some rooftop, like nothing said.
You know what I like about it is that it has its own look. It's
Yeah.
not copying the Nickelodeon look. It's not copying the classic look. It's not copying the movies. Like it has its
No,
own
somebody
unique shredder.
said it's related. It looks like the style of one of the comics or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. If that's the case, then heck yes. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for going for that and not like just trying to go for the more marketable appeal. Do you know what I mean?
One thing that I thought was interesting was we did the trailer score for this, and I was creating the thumb, and I ended up just grabbing a thing from the actual video. but I was looking for images, and it was interesting because I like went to Google, and there's always like the fear of like grabbing something that's not like that image, like they're trying to find it from the official site or something. And there's no mistaking this for another game.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
look at
what I
all
mean,
the other
sure.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, and there's nothing that looks like this. This is its own thing, which is cool.
I love it. Here's my question for the panel: could this be Platinum's most successful game? Could this trump Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance as like Platinum's
don't
most
know.
successful
No.
game?
Ooh.
I don't
It's
know that it'll be
licensed,
marketed
yeah.
that heavily.
Uh,
It's possible.
One detail I missed is coming out summer of this year, probably to coincide with the movie. The second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Bay.
I think it's
Bayverse.
possible if they actually put the thing out on shelves and yeah, good placement with the movie spots and all that kind of thing.
I think it could be. I think
Is it going to be
absolutely
box?
could
Is it going to be retail?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Whoa. Why not, Jones? Okay, Jones bringing the realism to the table already. I like it.
It's a franchise that's just fantastic, but it is a niche franchise. Like I don't think.
Yeah, Turtles
No.
Turtles isn't as huge as it was in its prime,
I
obviously, when we were like
simply won't
10 years old.
Allow that to be called a niche franchise.
Yeah, there's no way. It's global. Global reach
I'm not
of
saying people don't know
Raphael.
about Turtles. I'm not saying people don't love Turtles. I'm not saying a lot of people are going to turn out for Turtles. I'm not saying Turtles aren't amazing, because they are. But as much something like Metal Gear, I just in the gaming community, I don't think.
Maybe in the gaming community.
But we're
I don't
talking
think
about
there's
this
like direct
compared to-
reference where it's like this is not some game I'll pick up used later, or some game I might get on like a PSN bonus. This is a game I'm gonna buy day of. And in this summer, I just don't see that
The
happening.
gaming community is hungry for a good Turtles game. It has been far too long. And the gaming community loves Platinum. Platinum is so hype. Those guys make any game and everyone notices. Like when Transformers was announced, it was like, whoa, this is Turtles. I think there's way stronger of a connection to the Turtles property and Turtles video games because of Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, all these kids that grew up with the Turtles game, modern era Turtles game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember what we're comparing it to. It's like Bayonetta, which never sold well, as great as it is.
Yeah.
Vanquish, which never sold well, which is great as it is. Wonderful 101, which never sold. It's,
Bayonetta 2, just
yeah.
exactly.
So it's
yeah.
Transformers and Korra are probably some of the higher selling games that Platinum's done, and those things were sort of disconnected from what was going on. So now, if it's coming out right around the time when there's going to be a bunch of Turtles marketing, and it's going to be on shelves in front of Walmart, it would probably sell fairly well even if it was garbage.
Yeah.
Do we know who the team is? Like the director of this at all? Do we know anyone who is directly involved in making this?
It's strange. I don't think that was in the press release even. Maybe I missed details. But you're right, Huber. I don't know the team. I think I just assumed it's a Transformers team. But that would mean an incredible turnaround.
Yeah.
Transformers came out last year.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a different team.
Yeah.
What is interesting is that, Brandon, you called it. I can't accept you calling this.
I don't mean to diss the Turtles.
No,
it's just
it's the thing.
it's a cult thing. And
No, it's not. No, Michael Bay doesn't touch niche franchises. It's not a cult classic.
It's not a cult thing. It's on
It's
Nickelodeon
huge.
every week. Kids
Yeah.
are watching it. Our grown-ups know it and love it and grew up with it.
Right, but again, the community that loves Rob Paulson and Seth Green and the guys doing the voices for that, are they gonna buy this video game the day it comes out? Are they gonna know it comes out?
I don't
that
think this is
day?
a game that has to be
And are
that
they
people
gonna turn
buy
out,
the day it comes out. This is a
droves?
game that people walk by, see on the shelves, like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
new Turtles game.
Right, but again, is it? Are sales going to be that impressive as opposed to those people that are just like, holy crap, look what they're doing with Metal Gear. I gotta get in on this.
The thing with Platinum games that I've never really understood is aside from the Hubers of the world that love them, they never have seemed like any game they've made hasn't seemed like I need to get that game to me.
Oh, they all are. No, I can't even. I can't
Whoa,
allow
I
this type
can't
of
even.
speech.
Bayonetta
Yeah, come on.
is
I can't do
the
it.
single greatest action game ever
I
released.
can't allow it.
Weird. I wonder why they're not popular.
Oh man. Okay. Oh well, maybe. Sure. Why aren't they popular? Should we dig into that?
I think some of it comes
Yeah,
down
what do you?
Why
God,
wasn't
what's the-
Stanley
comes
Kubrick
down to
popular when
marketability.
he made
What's-
movies?
yeah. I mean,
What's the word for that? When the
Because it's not
community really really
mainstream.
loves something, but it's just not mainstream,
No, no,
and
no,
it's
no,
got
no,
its
no.
own little,
Oh,
it's
God.
got
No,
its
no,
own
no.
little subdivision,
No, no, no,
or
no, no.
it's got its own little slice. Or God, there's a word for it. I don't know what it is.
if you said platinum is niche, I'll allow it.
I'll
But you
allow
said
it.
turtles is
Yeah.
niche.
in video games. If we're talking about turtles in mass media, no,
Yeah.
of course not. They're incredibly recognizable. But as far as like
Okay.
turtles video games are concerned, that passion is red hot in that actual community. I'm not dissing anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything's bad or anybody's doing anything wrong. I'm just
I
talking
will
about
bet. I will bet you that TMNT Smash Up probably sold a ton, even though it's not good.
I just heard the word bet.
Yeah. Let's bet.
No.
That sold 1 million copies. Just kidding.
I think it did so. I honestly think I bet it did too. I don't know if I could bet against that blood. Yeah, I don't know, Brandon.
I'm also just throwing my hat in the ring to be a differing opinion, just to be like, maybe not. Maybe it won't be.
I do wonder with this game though, like, because it's aimed toward, it's like an actual game. It's not a kids game.
Yeah.
So I wonder how well it'll do.
So sorry, the thing I wanted to remark on that I got so distracted by my own emotions is 4-player co-op. I think that's what differentiates this from Transformers from Korra. I think that's what makes it less of a cheap game. You know what I mean?
Online only or local too?
I think it's online
I believe
only.
online only. Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
Also,
Yeah.
there wasn't really like a unity between the Transformers that they chose for Devastation, where it's like,
Yeah.
the cast of this game is crystal clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go to the PR guy at like Comic-Con and be like, so what turtles are in this?
Yeah.
Where it's like that was my first question in Transformers, like, oh, who Grimlock? Oh, okay, cool. Like, which Transformers are in there?
Yeah.
So I just think that the unity in the story and, moving away from the whole popularity nonsense argument into
Yeah.
like when this game looks great. Like I
Yeah.
love everything that I'm seeing. I think it looks really good.
Absolutely.
I just really want to say if anyone listening or watching has not seen the original 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, please, I'm begging you. I am on my hands and knees begging you.
That's a lie.
I will get on my hands
Oh,
and
God.
knees right now. Hands and knees. Here we go. I am begging you to watch that movie because it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It is like dark turtles. It should be rated R.
At
Casey
the
Jones
time-
is great in that movie.
And for a long time afterward, it was the highest grossing independent film
Yes.
of all time.
Yeah.
I think
Until
that's
like
so
Pulp
cool.
Fiction or something.
Yeah. How cool is that? They
That's
made it happen.
epic.
They made
I
that
still
movie
got it
happen.
on VHS somewhere.
Worth a rewatch.
They swapped Aprils, didn't they? Isn't there like a different April in 2 and 3?
Yes. In 2, they change April. Yeah.
You got to swap April sometimes. They, as you can see by my slide, we have another game announcement. Listeners,
It's a killer slide, man.
yeah. Basically, going forward with how we do the show now, if there's hot news dropping, it's not going to have a fancy slide.
What the what?
Insomniac.
GameStop?
Yes.
What?
So let me say this out loud for any listeners. GameStop is publishing Insomniac's new game that they just announced today.
Is this because I saw they were hiring? Is this related to that?
I don't know. So the game is called Song of the Sea, 2D, Metroidvania style. It's gonna be $15. So that kind of puts you in the perspective of what type of game we're talking about.
Insomniac needs a hit.
No, they don't.
They do.
Dude, Ratchet's coming, man.
Sunset Overdrive.
Ratchet & Clank's coming out in
Sunset
April.
Overdrive didn't do that well, nor did
Fuse we were talking about earlier this
Fuse,
week.
Yeah, and what was After Crack in Time?
Oh, you made me play it. Into the Nexus.
Into the Nexus
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
do
that was
well.
sort of sent out to die.
Fuse didn't do well,
Yeah.
and Sunset Overdrive didn't do as well as they wanted it to or expected it to.
I hear
I
ya.
know the reboot of Ratchet & Clank is probably going to do well because it comes out with the movie. You don't need a point of entry. It is the point of entry because it's like the beginning.
Yeah.
But this is telling. GameStop.
They got VR too.
Song of the Sea is a
They got Edge of Tomorrow,
movie
right?
that just
Yeah.
came out and has 5 stars on Rotten Tomatoes.
Death knell.
Is it not Song of the Sea?
I don't know. I'm trying to find it.
Okay. I mean, I have it on my little thing here. Yeah, so basically, Song of the Deep. You're right, Blood. Song of the
of
Sea
the
is
Deep.
an animated movie, which like has like a lot of similarities to Song of the Deep. Thanks for autocorrecting.
Oh yeah,
me, Blood.
this had a killer teaser. Aren't we getting more soon, or did that happen?
The reveal trailer is today, and like you're an Irish girl who's like looking for her dad in the sea.
Oh, so you've seen it.
The trailer, yeah.
But the
Came on
teaser
this morning.
the teaser for the trailer was cool with like it was like big long shot going deeper and deeper and deeper
Oh, okay.
into the ocean.
Yeah. So anyway, the story here is GameStop is publishing its first ever console game. This is getting a retail release despite the fact it's a $15 game. That's crazy.
Digital.
I'm excited about it.
Backed him into a corner.
Yeah.
GameStop.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Got to get in the
A
ring.
12-year-old girl builds a submarine.
Yep.
That girl is gonna get a great job when she grows up.
This is fiction, Bloodworth.
We think about like when Netflix first started creating original content. It was like, oh, okay, we'll see how this turns out. And like,
Yeah.
wow, look how that turned out.
Yeah.
And now
like
it's
some
the
of the best.
best.
Yeah, it's like some of the best television
Good point.
you can get.
Great point.
So,
Well, it sounds like they've been working on it for a while before this happened.
Yeah, and GameStop was willing to publish it. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's I think that's actually I've got nothing bad to say about that.
yeah. Well, it's refreshing to say something good about GameStop, you know?
Yeah.
And like some initiative that they're doing. We're like, this is great. This is only good news for everybody.
Coming out this spring.
Yeah, Hubert, it's funny to me that your first reaction though is Insomniac needs a hit. Like,
Yeah.
do you see this as bad news that GameStop is publishing their game?
No, I think it's it obviously reeks of like business because it's them partnering with the juggernaut that is GameStop.
I should say, yeah. If you want the disc, you can only buy it at GameStop.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Wow.
They're putting it on digital download, but they went with GameStop to basically print the discs.
Yeah.
It's just Insomniac, I think, has gone down a peg from the A Crack in Time era, and because all the Ratchet and Clanks were like greatest hits. They sold millions and millions of copies.
Dude, those-
Huge.
Those Spyro games.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Which one did you full play through again, or you streamed?
3.
That game was amazing.
Maybe or 2. I forget. But yeah.
But like they were
They're
up
all
here,
good.
and I think the past 3 releases in a row into the Nexus and what did we just
Fuse.
say? Fuse and even Sunset Overdrive is kind
Well,
of
I,
like,
don't, I don't even think Resistance was all that.
and
big
even
for
Resistance
them.
3
Yeah.
didn't do as well as expected. So I think they've had a couple.
I wonder if
misses.
Naughty Dogs is going to be in the position in like 2 years, where like they don't, we might not be getting an Uncharted 5, or if we do, it might not start Drake, so it might just be like a Gears Judgment kind of thing. And it's like, what's going to be their new initiative? It's like Blizzard has Overwatch.
Yeah.
Epic has Paragon. Like a lot of companies are being like, here's our new franchise exclusive to us. Here's our initiative. An Uncharted kind of feel where it's like new gen. We would want to have our own story and start a new thing. And I think that's kind of where I resonate with what you said. Where like they need that.
I don't-
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Something
and
new.
that might be Ratchet. That might be Ratchet
Yeah.
again. If it
Just
if it makes
rebooting.
enough.
Right,
Yeah.
because we know of 3 unreleased Insomniac games right now. I don't think Naughty Dog would ever do that.
one at a time.
Split up that much.
Yeah.
Well,
It's-
2 at a time.
yeah,
One.
yeah.
Focus on one, cook in another.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it, Brandon.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like they're spreading themselves. Though this game seems like a small team, seems
Yeah.
like a small
Yeah.
budget in particular.
It's also worth saying that that Ratchet game is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really notice that until I played it at PSX. It was just like the textures, the water, and like.
No,
It's
it's
just-
it's
I-
worth saying it's one of the best looking PlayStation 4
Absolutely.
games. Is a Ratchet and Clank game. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
It just how does this even happen? Like who calls who? Does Ted Price call GameStop? Yo,
They're
want to
buddies.
publish our new game? Like how does this?
I imagine him calling like a store, and someone's like, "I'll have to connect you to my manager."
No, it was some clerk. It was some clerk. He went in, like, Ted Price just wandered into one to get his daughter, like, some toy or something. And the clerk was like, boop, scanning him up. Just like, hey, the Ratchet, it's cool. You're making a movie next year. Just like,
It
yeah.
says,
If you could make a game, what would you make? Retail clerk. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
always
sa- it
wanted to
says
do
that,
something in the ocean. Just like, I think I might have something here. You have your boss call me.
no, it says that, the GameStop guy came to their offices in Burbank and they
Yeah.
told him about the game there.
Front door shady
Made
deal.
the trip.
Front door shady. I believe that this won't be the last GameStop published game.
Well,
No,
no,
this is opening
This sounds
up.
like an
Yeah.
initiative from GameStop.
Oh,
It
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
is,
They're
yeah.
very.
I
They're
wonder if they
very
got
in-
everybody on the phone, and Insomniac was the only company that was
They're
like,
very into
why not?
having exclusives like this.
What
Yeah.
if GameStop just becomes the new Netflix, like you guys were just talking about, and they save certain games? Like, what if they publish like a Ninja Theory game or like some of these smaller time guys and
PT.
yeah,
It's really interesting because
to you by
PT
GameStop.
exactly.
They're doing merchandise for them too.
there are a couple early episodes of this show, of GT Time, where we talk about what GameStop can do. And none of us ever said like they should publish games. And I think
Yeah.
that's actually a good way going forward to be future proof. I think that's like a good way to move forward.
Here's
Ian,
the
what were you
thing,
gonna
though. Can Blood said something that made me think of this. They wouldn't only make them available in stores, right? In their own stores. That'd be crazy.
Digitally, you can buy it
Retail.
anywhere. Retail, you can only buy that game in GameStop.
Whoa.
Merchandise too,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe not forever, but just to start.
I think forever. I think forever. You
Do you
yeah.
think that they'll
Well, it
sell
depends on how
used
it-
copies of their own game?
Yes, dude.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
You're right. For them to finally feel what that's
That-
like.
Well,
yeah.
no, because then Insomniac doesn't get a cut, but they
Yeah,
still do.
that's so
it's
shady.
genius.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny actually, because you don't get to like walk up to Insomniac and just give them back the game. Be like,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can actually walk into a GameStop and return this game.
It's
this
robbing
GameStop
Peter
game.
to pay Peter.
Try
I mean,
again.
Love that.
I don't know. I mean, usually royalties don't quite work like that.
I'm sure
With
something
developers.
like that is in the contract. They've thought about it.
It's happening.
Used
You can retrade it
games.
in.
Yeah.
We have a big story here. EA is throwing its own E3 this year. This is crazy to me. This is really. Let me get through all the details. So what's happening is there's a public fan event happening June 12th through the 14th at Club Nokia in LA, and June 12th at the Mermaid in London. Open to the public. Anyone come play our games. June 12th is the Sunday before E3. 14th is the first day of E3. EA is not having a booth at E3 this year.
Nintendo's presumably doing something that on Sunday as well. They've done that for the last couple of years, right?
Nintendo's traditionally done the Smash tournament on one Sunday. Last year they did the World Championships on
They're
Sunday.
probably gonna do something.
Bethesda last year had their thing at 6:30 p.m. This year, EA is having their own press conference at 1 p.m. on Sunday. They are the new kickoff.
Is this
of
the
E3.
earliest anyone has announced E3 plans ever? It's not
It's so
February.
early,
It's
too.
not February.
Yeah.
This is gonna get.
not sure,
this is
but-
gonna get out of hand. People are just gonna keep one-upping. Oh, we're at noon.
They've
Oh,
one-upped.
we're a week before.
Yeah.
Yo, we're in
Yes.
March.
Yes.
Our E3 conference is in
Yes.
March.
Yes. Yeah. We love
I want the E3 to be 3
We
weeks
love
long.
E3, yeah. Can you just like imagine like EA watching Bethesda last year steaming? They're
Sure,
like, why do we
yeah,
have to be on like
yeah.
Monday?
Yeah.
So now they get.
They got 2 games?
Yeah.
They're showing off 2 games. and
Bethesda
they're-
was hype
they have
last
their own
year.
It
event?
was. It was really good. I loved what Bethesda did last year, and I said more companies should do this.
Yeah.
EA is going overboard. It's crazy to me they pulled out of E3. First of all, they're not going to be on the show floor. That is insane.
Well, what's crazy about that is you walk into South Hall and it is the EA hall. Like
Yeah.
you can't until you get like 15 feet in that room,
Yeah.
you can't see
explain
anything
that,
else
Explain
other
that to
than
anyone
EA.
who's never been to E3.
I mean, like, you know,
They just take up the entire front door.
it is the front,
All
it
of
is
your
the first
peripheral
thing,
vision.
and it's not just like, oh, I can see that, but then I can see the 2 booths, and you can't see anything. Like you have to start walking, a
What do you
considerable
see?
distance in either environment. The last couple years, they'll have like one huge communal area, and there's usually like a giant thing spinning, or a giant like curved screen that's just rolling FIFA, Madden,
Yes.
Unravel they had
Battlefield, like
last year.
Yeah, but like they have a crashed snow speeder. I think we had that last
the only
year. They
the
had
only
SUVs.
person the only person that brings a booth as big as them, and I honestly last year Xbox's booth was smaller than EA's booth, is Sony and Xbox.
Yeah.
Sony, Microsoft.
Those are 2 very big booths.
Yeah.
And yeah, EA.
Nintendo and EA.
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah.
4 biggest booths at E3 every year. So like,
Last year it was really funny because Sony's booth like enveloped and went around Microsoft's
forgot
booth.
about
that,
It was like
yeah.
they were like eating Microsoft.
you
It
could
was really
fit
funny.
4 Capcoms inside of EA. So that means we're going to get 4 something else's. Because I don't know anybody that can step up and deliver like.
Well, Activision could if they want to.
They don't want to.
Ubisoft usually has a fairly large.
Yeah,
booth,
they do.
too.
So to explain what
Oh yeah, they'll have their Just Dance people right
Their
front
big
and center.
dance. Yeah.
Activision traditionally does very few kiosks.
Yeah.
And mostly like theaters.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, they have a lot of backstage rooms too.
Yeah, exactly. And like things that if a person walking around the floor doesn't have like exclusive access, they won't do a lot at an Activision booth. E3
Activision
was
has like
kinda
a
different.
schedule for their
Or
trailers,
EA.
which cracks me up.
Yeah.
Stay around for 2 p.m. We're going to show a trailer you can watch on
Oh
your
yeah,
phone.
it's like SeaWorld. It's like SeaWorld. It's so dumb. It's really, really dumb.
But the thing is, I'm not entirely surprised by this EA move because I'm pretty sure EA was one of the big ones that was talking about pulling out of E3 and E3 being too much money and stuff before the big, like the great E3 crash of 2007. So yeah, I think this is sort of I think Nintendo is sort of the precursor to this by not having a press conference, you know, and saying like we just want to talk direct to the fans, and like now EA's doing their own version of that, and it'll be interesting to see because Club Nokia is going to be way cheaper than that booth.
yeah.
What if everyone is
So
just
much
like, "Yo,
cheaper.
later E3, I'm doing my own thing. Sony does their own thing." If
But it's
cheaper,
not later E3. It's the same week.
That's what's kind of nasty
It's
about
the-
it.
It's
Is that the overlap.
so yeah. It's like I think a lot of people are like, well, you know, EA's out of E3, and like I don't think they're out of E3. I think they just want they want that microscope just laser focused on them. They want to be like, no
Yep.
one's talking about anything else right now other than EA.
Yeah.
And like they had a press conference, but like once you actually got into the show, they're just competing with everybody else for
And I
screen
mean,
time.
what's cool is you, the person listening to this, can go play those games that traditionally only press were able to go walk up and play if you're near London or if you're near LA.
Yeah, what games are on that list is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And what versions of those games are available.
Sure.
Well, it'll be interesting too to see what they do for media. Whether there will be because I'm guessing there will still be games that they have, somewhere for media that are not going to be publicly playable.
And Club Nokia, to explain to everybody, is actually very close to the convention center.
Oh yeah.
If they give you an appointment there, you can make it in that day. And
Yeah,
still
I
get
mean
back
there are
and forth.
appointments
Yeah.
farther away than that
Yeah.
that we usually get. So it's like basically there.
So there's a lot of overlap. It's basically, I kind of feel like it's leeching off of E3 in an unfair way. You know what I mean? They're giving no money to E3 and that they probably give them money to the organization, but they're not paying for E3, but they're getting all the benefits of E3. And that's what's pretty crazy about it.
Well, they're still flying all their people out to Los Angeles. They're still, I'm assuming, like setting up meetings with people, like now that they're there. So again, that's the thing. It's like they're all still going to be in downtown Los Angeles during that time period.
Yeah.
My
So
question.
it doesn't feel like that drastic of a move as if they were like to give up on E3 or be like, we don't need E3 anymore.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
clearly need E3.
They're
real
doubling
bad.
down on E3.
I think
Yeah.
it feels that way.
They're
But-
letting E3 advertise for them for free, kind of.
Yeah, are we going to have to stop calling it E3? You know what I mean?
No.
What EA is doing,
EA3.
They're calling it EA Play.
yeah,
Whatever.
But none of it is E3. You know what I mean? Maybe in the future, E3, the name becomes irrelevant because of things like this. Nintendo,
People will call it E3 even if E3 completely disbands.
Yeah, just it's 2 syllables. It's so
Yeah.
simple. Yeah.
I
Sorry
mean,
for
it kind of
interrupting,
makes
Blood.
sense though. Like, why pay someone else to do your thing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you're as big as EA,
Right.
Most
or
of the
Nintendo,
companies that,
like, why? Yeah. it
Well,
makes
it's
sense.
the
Control
it's the
it.
floor space. It's like
Yeah.
there's if 2 or 3 more people do this, then there's not going to be any more space to keep everybody together, and people aren't going to want to go bouncing around town. So that's why this works, is because they were one of the first ones to do it.
they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Club Nokia, I was telling you about this yesterday. They can't have the same kind of presence that they had when people walk into that floor. Like, Club Nokia is small. It's very small. When they do the press conference, they're going to have everyone up on the balcony, because if they put seats on the floor, there's going to be no room for any games. So I'm
You're
going to
just-
be very curious how that layout's going to be.
They're just doubling down on the internet because really, how
Yeah.
many people can be in LA and go to E3?
Yeah.
The reach of the internet dwarfs the amount of people that would have that impact of walking through the door.
But the
saying,
thing is,
"Yay!"
but
Yeah.
the thing is there's going to be way more people that can come to EA Play than could go to E3.
Yeah. It's so cool.
There's
Yeah.
one problem.
Yes.
That show better be good. That
Oh,
better
all
be-
eyes on you,
that better
EA.
be real
They better actually
good.
have games.
Oh,
Eyes
yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Like
They
they
had
had
some bad
None of us
conferences.
finished that Bethesda conference, and they were like, I still don't understand why they had an event.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
oh no, yeah, yeah, now is the time. Like Bethesda's not going to do that again next year because it's
Because
not
this
the
year
time.
they can actually show the games they've got, like Mirror's
Right.
Edge and
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Mass
And
Effect.
so, like deep down,
Well,
is-
Mirror's
this
Edge will be
feels
out.
reactionary. This feels like
Oh,
they
yeah.
watched Bethesda and we're like, we're EA,
Yeah.
So it's like we're just do that on principle, and it's like, what do we have to show? Like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna.
Is Bethesda doing it again?
No,
no,
it's-
why
I
would they?
doubt it.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Fallout's
They've got
done.
nothing.
No, they got Doom.
They got Doom, but
they
Doom's
got
not a
Dishonored,
conference.
but
Like,
yeah.
Oh, and Dishonored. I bet Bethesda, because of last year's reaction, absolutely will have another press conference, but they're not going to announce it in January. It's
I
so
think they
crazy.
should.
They will.
announce this in
They should
January.
not do
Noon.
another concert.
Like if we're gonna play some, we'll get to this later. But if we're gonna play some Battlefront map that it comes out 2 weeks after, and like that's one of the biggest things there. Like,
No,
they gotta-
no. Mass Effect. People will be playing Mass Effect.
Well, that's the thing. See, I was about to say that, and I'm like, I don't even know if I can count on that.
Yeah.
we
How
better
crazy is
that?
We
on it.
have to have something of that caliber.
Yeah.
I bet.
know.
I bet.
Multiplayer kiosks and like make it. Everyone needs to walk out of there, and there's no question why they had that event.
Yeah.
Like,
in
it
a
wasn't just
funny way, though,
me-
this is
attention grab.
This is a lot like EA's MO, just to announce something way too early that has no reason to be announced.
They're great.
so early.
Yeah. Well, no, they
Like
do.
they should not
People need
have
to plan for
announced
this.
Yeah, 'cause-
Andromeda like as early as they did, like
'Cause-
without showing anything.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Mirror's Edge, like we went backwards a year later in Mirror's Edge.
And the
like,
Burnout successor. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a lot of things were like pretty crazy.
But this, no. They definitely needed to announce this right now because a lot of people have already booked travel for you.
Yeah, they got to
Yeah.
beat them out.
So
Yeah. And if you're like regular, I love that regular people can come to this. I think it's so cool.
That's sort of the thing though. Like kind of what Huber said too about the internet is like, is E3 like kind of what's the point anymore? Like because it's really expensive. Only the press can do it. You can achieve similar results controlling it yourself and doing online only stuff, and everybody gets to see it. Like. Are we all outmoded?
Yeah,
Is
so
E3 outmoded?
I do have an advice to the organizers of E3. I think you should heavily consider a public day because you'll just get stomped by people who want this opportunity. You should make a public day. You absolutely should because
It used to be, right?
no, never ever.
Oh, I thought it used
There's
to
like
be
some
public.
super expensive tickets. That
Yeah,
people
you can
buy
buy
It's
now.
like $600.
$600,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And you can buy it.
Unless you want to like keep bleeding EAs, you should make a public day. I
The
think.
funny thing about those public tickets is the majority of people that could afford those tickets already have the contacts to pull the strings and get in anyways. Those people are already there.
I like to imagine some just super fans who got
That
rich off
save
something
up.
irrelevant.
Or they just save up.
Oil barons.
People save up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dude, you never
Yeah.
like somebody bought the $10,000
Oil
like
barons.
Kickstarter thing for Psychonauts 2 to have dinner with Double Fine and gave it to James Willems. And then James was like, I can't accept this. And the dude's like, $10,000 is so nothing to me. I don't even care. I just want to make somebody happy. Like, you have no idea how.
So did James go?
I don't know. I think because like James is like in the game now, so it's kind of like a weird. But like they all knew about it. I don't
Yeah.
know the story, but like $600 to some people is like nothing.
Yeah, it is.
There is no city greater surrounding any convention I've ever been to in my life than San Diego during Comic-Con. Like that city just
Loves
throws a party that
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone.
yeah.
Comic-Con like keeps San Diego
Like
afloat. I feel
shoe
like.
stores go nuts.
Oh,
you
so
know,
you're saying
like
for- to make it public?
What shoe store in LA gives a crap about E3? You know,
Yeah.
and so I think, and again, anytime that like the show grows and starts taking over parts of the city, especially if like all the improvements that they're making downtown are to like, hey, you know, ignore all the homeless people, come to LA and you know have a good time downtown.
I mean,
Except for
downtown's
like really
exploding
small
with construction
pockets.
right now. So in a couple of years, there could be a lot more.
Yeah, the
spaces,
Figaro is
yeah.
closed, so everyone like all the chatter with journalists are like, where are we going to hang out? Like, what's actually happening this year? So like, if you start having these events, I think I think E3 can still mean something if it's a point to gather everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and also like it's weird because the only thing about E3 that seems to really matter or get huge press are the press conferences, like the announcements, and then E3 itself is just to get like interviews with people that nobody watches.
Ouch. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
demos.
for real, though.
you get access to games at E3 that you don't play again for another year.
True,
So, like that
true.
whole year, all you have to say about that game is that 1 hour. You
For
had that
honor.
one day.
yeah.
For
Yeah, exactly.
honor, dude.
Yeah.
It's the same demo I've ever played. I've been whistling the same tune the whole time, and it was all based on that first. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's cool. I'm good on you, EA. They're innovating still. That's what I always say about EA is they're innovators. Brandon nodded at me like I wasn't being sarcastic. I don't want to talk about this one too long. Mighty Number 9 has been delayed again this
Oh
week.
god, I didn't
Yes.
hear this.
I really
I didn't
wish,
hear this at all.
Kyle, I wish so bad the game actually looked like that.
Oh, don't even. Okay.
My God, if the game looked like that, 10 out of 10 hype.
So, listeners, there's just some stellar art.
Although the two lines on the gun right next to delay make it look like a quotation mark. That's bothering me.
Delayed again.
Oh, I see.
So let me give you. Basically, the announcement went out to the Kickstarter contributors, of course. So Keiji Inafune wrote this. It's actually very frank. The reasoning for the delay is rooted in bugs inside the network modes and specifically problems with matchmaking. There are two large reasons for this problem, one of them being the large number of platforms supported. The solution for each platform is slightly different. And the other stems from the fact that the engine we are using is no longer being updated, which means adjustments for matchmaking and online code are being made manually, actually reprogramming parts of the game by the dev teams themselves.
Game's outdated.
Realistically, the game will launch in spring 2016, says Inafune.
Nah. Nope.
Huber doesn't believe even
End
that.
of the year. End of the year.
Oh my god.
Like October.
Is it worth doing the timeline? I'll go through the timeline of Mighty Number 9 too. Okay, this game was originally supposed to come out in April 2015. When the Kickstarter ended, it's like, okay, everybody, look forward to April 2015.
When did the Kickstarter begin?
Lol.
Do we have that timeline?
I don't remember when it began. Then on April 28th, almost at the end of that month, is when they finally delayed it to September 15th of that year. So they're like, okay, give us more time. We just got to get this done. In between then, we had the Red Ash Kickstarter that started in July 5th of 2015.
Did that fail?
ended prematurely in July 30th. Then, basically a week later, August 5th, Mighty Number 9 delayed again to the first quarter of 2016, which eventually became February 9th.
Wait, they pulled Red Ash?
They pulled Red Ash because they said, hey, we have a publisher. It's a Chinese company that we've never heard of before. And people are like, yeah, nice job, Inafune. You're successful. Oh, okay. Nobody was like, the minority of people were just like, good job. But like, oh boy. Yes, I still call it a failure. Even though they got a publisher, like that was a failure. And then January 25th, it's 2 weeks before February 9th when the game was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Game delayed again to spring of 2016. So basically, every time it's delayed, it's way too late to like do a delay.
Yeah.
And also, wait, did the other ones they delayed it to a specific date, whereas this one is spring?
Q1 2016 was one of the delays, but yeah.
But then the other ones were like September 15th.
Yeah.
So that's telling too, I think.
Oh yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Long ways out.
What if this game? I wonder if somebody could do this. It'd be a nightmare. Like it'd be like Frog Fractions 3 or something, where it's just the game is just a meta, like making everyone wait. It's like a performance art piece. It's just there is no Mighty Number 9. It's just all a joke, and we're
No,
going to
people
see
played
how
that whole
long
game.
people tolerate it.
That's
And
really funny.
It's super funny because people have already invested money into it. It just
Yeah.
makes it even
Yeah.
funnier.
They're like, it's a highway robbery.
I forget
Oh my
about
God.
that. That's sad.
You know,
I can't. I won't be as mean.
that'd be
because-
really tempting. Yeah, we were talking about Lotto and like what we would fund if we could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun to spend like $1 million on just screwing with people.
Hubert, I think
Just to
it's
like destroy
That'd
it.
be
I think
such a
it's
great
worth talking
2-year
about,
ride.
though.
Like,
Like people saw this thing, they saw this PC only like version of like a Mega Man game, and they invested money in it. And now because it became so successful, because they had 3DS stretch goals,
Yeah.
the game is suffering.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if Shenmue 3 Kickstarter was like, we want to make like a mobile spin-off where you're Fukasan and you go on errands for Ine-san, and it's mobile only. It's gonna push the game back a year.
Yeah.
I mean, Shenmue is a different story, so I would be like, whatever. Like,
You'd be
but
thrilled.
I'd still be
You would be
bummed.
thrilled.
I'd still be so bummed. This is different because it's, they show the game and it's like, okay, like a year away. Here you go. You put money in this now. You're going to see a return. You're going to see this game within a year.
Yeah.
I don't think this game will be out in spring 2016.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
when you said the outdated tech,
Yeah.
that scares the shit
The
out of
engine
me.
they're
That they're using some kind of proprietary engine that's like went out of business
No,
or something.
it's not
Yeah.
proprietary. If it's something that they've gotten off the shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
I just had like an image of these guys because like they're like old school game designers or whatever, right? And like
Inafune is.
yeah, and so I just have this like image in my head, like the whole team is like super old school, and they're all just like, ooh, we don't know how to do modern stuff. Like, what is all this? Like, and they're all just afraid.
Yeah.
They should have released a PC version or a version first and then kind of worked on this as they went versus trying to get everything out at the same time.
It's a lesson for
you know,
sure.
I think
Yeah.
that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, add on the crap no one cares
Yeah.
about.
this
later.
game's not even ready for early access.
That's true. Yeah, it's not.
Well, it is. The thing is, this game is done. It's not improving. Is the crazy thing. Normally,
Yeah.
when we have delays, we can be like, okay, when it comes out, it's gonna be better. This game is not improving.
It's not improving. It's
They're
just like a
fixing
solid
stupid
7
bugs.
right now, probably.
Yeah.
They probably get through it and they're like, okay, that was fun. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Every time I see it.
Also, wait, Huber just recommended something do early access, and you hate early access.
I do, but in this weird situation, I think if they had released like a
They should put
build
the
of
single
it-
player game
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
and then
release
add the stuff
something.
no one's asking for
Yeah.
later.
So
for the Kickstarter backers at least.
right.
Yeah.
They have
yeah.
released a demo. They've an extended demo, a special demo for Kickstarter backers. They've played the game at least. You know what I mean? But yeah, they haven't played through the whole thing. They have addressed people who are just like, just put out the single player. We don't want the other stuff.
Yeah.
Their reasoning is you can't sell the box to say single and multiplayer and patch in multiplayer later. And so because they want to sell a box that says single and multiplayer, they have to wait until
That's
it's done.
dumb.
Oh yeah.
Then put out the digital
Um,
version single player.
Didn't GTA 5 do exactly that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crackdown's doing the opposite.
Yeah, GTA. So is Rockstar Bucks. You don't mess with them.
Yeah.
Rockstar does whatever they want. Like,
That is so funny, Blood. Good call out. All right, we should move on. What is next? Ooh, Battlefront DLC announcements. So this is interesting in particular. You know, I obviously don't go over everybody announcing their DLC. There's a couple interesting things about this.
when
Obviously,
that's all that the game is, you kind of have to.
yeah, this game is a special case. So this week, for free, you're getting a kind of new Tatooine map and Hoth Han and Hoth Luke. So when you play as Luke or Han on Hoth, they'll be wearing their old snow gear. Brandon's nodding like this
That
is
just
very
feels
cool.
like an oversight.
Will Luke's face
Yeah.
have the car accident scars on it?
Is that a fact? What is that?
Yeah.
That's why they did
Return of the Jedi.
the beginning of
Oh, wait,
the beginning of Return of the
Where he gets clawed by
Empire
the-
Strikes
the
Back.
Wampa.
Yeah.
He-
Yeah?
They got him. They made him hit in the face by the Yeti because he'd had a car accident.
Hollywood history.
You don't
right
see his face
there.
until then because he has the thing on. I think.
That's so unnecessary and stupid.
I love it.
That's awesome.
really
Dude,
cool.
And like the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, when River Phoenix cuts himself here, and
Yes.
it's like lore for Harrison Ford's scar.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
So
So
cool.
cool.
You know how Ford got that scar?
How?
Seatbelt.
Lion taming? A seatbelt.
Seatbelt.
How?
You just put on a seatbelt and it didn't latch and
Wow.
zip. Or sorry, it'd be this way. Zipped back
Back
up.
in the day.
Yeah, seatbelts would not do that
Be
to you
in the
today.
D.
Seatbelts are safe. Please buckle up.
Please
So
buckle
why
up.
I said kind of new
Please, for sure.
Tatooine, it was because it's basically the survival map will be playable in multiplayer now.
hate. I'm using the strong word. I hate the maps of this game.
Hey, that's free though. That
There's-
part's free.
Yeah, like that to me is this game's biggest weakness is maps.
Okay.
And I think a variation of a map that already exists in a different mode is not the answer.
Well, I got more news for you, Huber. In February, there will be a survival mission on Hoth and a new Hoth map.
It's filler. It's all filler.
In March, you get a new map on Endor and a new survival map on Tatooine.
Filler. All of this is filler. Give me like 2 brand new maps
Okay.
instead of all of that.
So here's the
Or
things
planets, you mean.
But here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Here's and we're getting to that. But this is the stuff that costs money. This is stuff that you got for your season pass.
Yeah.
In March, you get the factories in Solist, and you get Jabba's palace.
Jabba's Palace is sick.
Those are the ones
Yeah.
that like cost money. In the summer,
How
Wait,
much are
wait,
those?
wait.
Is there a price?
no,
Didn't they say they weren't ever going to charge for?
no, because they had the season pass.
Oh.
They've been trying to sell the.
Wasn't there something
you're
about this
thinking-
game?
You're thinking like Halo or something.
I thought there was something about this game where they were like, we're not going to charge for, or like no in-app purchases.
There
or-
are no in-app purchases.
Oh, okay,
still.
okay.
They've still stood true to that so far. In summer, you get Bespin, the Cloud City.
Very cool.
In fall, Death Star. I just realized how cool that could be. For some reason I was an idiot. I was like, "What? In space? You're gonna be
No,
you're gonna be
like the
inside
hallways
the Death Star."
inside. The shield reactor
With all those
instead
like
of the tractor
weird
beam.
walkways.
God.
Oh, sick. I hope you have to bomb generators inside,
Yeah.
like place detonating.
It'd be cool if it was the
detonation
surface
charges.
and inside.
The Death Star.
And it'd be cool if you
The
could get
control
if you could get
room.
those green turrets.
Yeah.
Like it'd be fun if you had like an X-wing going down the trench and you had to like hop on one of those turrets and try to like actually hit it.
Dude, they're gonna put Lando in this game.
Wow.
Yeah, no, they need to have
Jones.
Lando in this game. Infinity needs Lando real bad
The
too.
air,
Lando.
you do it like Battlefield 2142, the Titan mode. You have the people on the ground inside the Death Star need to like take the tractor beam down or whatever, so they have an objective inside. Once that's done, all the people on the outside in X-Wings and TIE fighters have to bomb it and blow it up.
I think Ian did that.
That needs to
He was
happen.
Still on.
I have no control over the TVs. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that.
If that
The
happens,
TV just turned itself off.
Okay.
I will purchase everything. All of it.
So
Do that.
you would okay yeah
Titan
I mean,
mode. Battlefield 2142. Hype it up.
and then this is really interesting is early 2017 is Pack 4. That means that when you bought the season pass for this game, it meant that you'll be getting content for
All right.
over a year. The year of Battlefront or
Yeah.
the season of Battlefront is more than a year long.
I would
I think our TV just had a Windows update or something.
I would
That's
compare
weird.
this to Arkham Knight.
The other one didn't. So it's
Arkham
weird.
Knight kind of had that those filler DLCs periodically throughout
Yeah.
an entire year period, you know, and they got better as they went on, but you didn't really need them. They didn't really satiate your appetite. They brought nothing to the table until that final substantial Season of Infamy pack.
Yeah.
And I hope this isn't a trend of like sell a season pass, get this like get a couple skins, get a couple map variations. It's like I'd much rather have 2 or 3 substantial, meaningful.
Here's my
packs
question.
of
I have a
maps.
question for you though, Huber. Like, what if you were gonna get those 2 or 3 meaningful packs regardless, and they have a different team making all the quote unquote filler? They don't affect each other at all.
Yeah,
Would you still rather not have all that filler?
I guess I've just been burned on the season pass, so it's like
What
don't buy the season pass and just buy what you want to buy because you're not really saving that much money either way.
I think what is worth saying though, the huge difference is this filler DLC is all free. And we all gave this game a super hard
cool.
time when it launched for not having content.
Yeah, me, baby.
Yeah, not Jones. People are still mad about it, Jones. And so, like, it is adding content for people who just love content.
Yeah,
You're getting free content.
but it's got to.
so you can munch on that content.
Like Ian was saying, if it didn't affect it, but I do think it does because these are people using resources, using man hours.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
to to pump
That
this
was a
stuff out.
hypothetical
Yeah,
statement.
Oh yeah. If any, I'm actually a little disappointed that the actual stuff for your season pass is coming out so late.
Yeah.
It's taking so long for the season pass stuff
It's
to
like-
actually come out.
I don't want to sound like a cliche or what, but like, make Darth Maul, make make,
Not seeing heroes on that list is very
make
disappointing.
Jango
Yeah.
Fett, make
Yeah.
Lando, make all you
They
have.
won't do it.
I think those are
Make
going to be
Finn, make
special
Rey, make
announcements.
Kylo Ren. You
won't
have
do it, yeah.
this well of lore and this well of Star Wars that is untapped that you can pretty much do anything you want with. Can they do anything they want with? Are they restricted?
I do wonder
You
if
know?
if it's DICE saying no or if it's Disney saying no. But I
Yeah.
think they've already said like Darth Maul will never be in this game. Yeah.
Darth Maul versus Darth Vader, I want it.
Yeah, everyone does. That's the weird thing. A strange story this week in business news: Sony Computer Entertainment and Sony Network Entertainment combined to become Sony Interactive Entertainment. And so there's been some reshuffling. Basically, what you need to know as a video game fan is that Andrew House has become the CEO and president of not CEO, sorry, the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment. So basically, Andrew House, formerly head of Sony Computer Entertainment, now has more responsibilities, more power. It shows that there was confidence in what the PlayStation team is doing. And now all of the PlayStation businesses, including PlayStation Vue and, I don't know, the music services and things like that, those are all under one house.
Andrew House.
So yeah, I don't want to talk about this too much. There's nothing like really to be concerned about, nothing really to be excited about. So that just happened this week.
Oddly, one of those things because a lot of people were like tweeting worried tweets at
Shuhei Yoshida?
yeah
Yeah.
Yoshida. And he was just like kept saying to people like, I report to Sean.
Yeah. Shuhei Yoshida is still president of Sony Worldwide Studios. However, Sean Layden is above him as head of Worldwide Studios. So yeah, it's what what I mean. This is like nothing I like to talk about.
I'll talk about something.
What?
One thing that always gets me reinvigorated about Sony is every single time they announce a new console, it's like, we know what's coming next. It's the PlayStation 5. So when they announced it, we're going to kind of get back to like, we have a deep commitment to improving this product line and to our community. To everybody that loves Sony. Everyone that loves PlayStation. You really feel like they have their own event now. We have 2 years of PSX. And so I think this is cool that, like you said, it feels like them doubling down, being like, this is working out really well for us.
Yeah.
We got like the opposite of this from Microsoft 2 years ago where they were like, oh, we don't really have Microsoft games anymore. It's just like, let those PC people handle it. So to me, this is the opposite of that. This is like, oh, wow, maybe we will see a greater synergy between
right,
these
Jones.
kind of
That's a good take.
like
Yeah.
potentially niche Sony products like Vue or like other things that like haven't really struck a chord with mainstream gaming audiences. That he's like, let me try to do that. Let me try to make these other things that we're doing attractive to gamers, and vice versa.
Sony's CEO is Kaz Hirai. How crazy is that? I love it. I love this world that we live in right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's trickling down. I absolutely think that's like the PlayStation is like a nice little sparkle in what Sony's doing. Also, camera lenses for cell phones, but that's what that is.
Twinkle in his eye.
Kaz Hirai with a twinkle in his eye. EVO 2016, the lineup has been announced. 9 games. Let me tell you each of these games. Street Fighter V, Smash Bros. Melee, Smash Bros. Wii U, Mortal Kombat X, Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, Killer Instinct, Pokken Tournament, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Tekken 7. Basically, the story is there. Street Fighter 4 is gone. It's been replaced by 5.
Gone.
Persona 4 Arena, that's gone. Pokken took its place. Is putting Pokken in EVO, the world's biggest fighting games tournament.
Pokemon 20, baby.
Yeah, is that
I wonder if
It's
they
a
made
shot.
a hard push.
It's a shot. It's like Rocky or something. It's like, yo, Pokken tournament. Do you got it? Do
Yeah,
you have it? Can
sure.
you compete with the big boys?
You
Let's find
have
out.
it. Strange thing about Pokken is to play 2 players. For them to play set up this tournament, they have to LAN the consoles.
Oh no.
Because Pokken the game can't run 60 frames per second on one console, 2 players.
No.
So they have to LAN up 2 consoles.
That's scary.
Land up.
That's really scary. Input lag and stuff.
yeah.
That scares me.
So there won't be input lag because you're using LAN consoles.
Wow.
There will be 2 Wii U set up for every one singular competition.
Because nothing ever breaks at EVO, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they're good. They're solid. Oh, you're making reference to a broken controller. Well done. Good reference, Brandon.
Those have only been the Razer ones, mostly, right?
Well, the one in particular. Was,
yeah. That was one. You want to
it,
look at that
happened,
list?
it happened at PSX too. I saw it happen.
So there's a couple other huge things about the EVO this year that was announced this week. It's going the final day of EVO and the final 5 tournaments. They will be in the Mandalay Bay Stadium Arena Event Center, Mandalay Bay Center. Hubert stole my list. It's an arena. It's a 12,000 seat arena.
Jeez.
So much like what League of Legends would set up in, you know what I mean? And so much like what StarCraft 2 would set up in arenas. And so basically this is the first year that fighting games get that arena scene.
Nice.
And I think that's pretty exciting.
I like that Street Fighter, as sad as it is, they cut 4 loose, and they move on, not like Smash where they carry on 64 and Melee and Wii and Wii U. or
No,
whatever.
they've only carried on Melee.
Melee is a special
Yeah.
case, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good to cut snippet too. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's cool.
There was a great finals for Street Fighter 4 at last year's EVO. There's a great finals at the Capcom Cup.
PSX.
And it's good. It's good to move on. Yeah, that was at PSX. Yeah.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's good to move on. New games. And so I'm excited for EVO.
Yeah, it's actually one of the things that surprised me on there is Mortal Kombat X, because I could see that last year because of like big game coming out, promote it, but to see that there's still enough interest in a scene around that game is cool a year later.
Yeah. If
Mortal
you
Kombat X,
if
hardcore.
you want to be world champion at EVO, I think Pokken's going to be the easiest path there. If you want one of those sick trophies, just study hard at Pokken now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you got it in. I think that was definitely like I think that was a front door business deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was like Nintendo being like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Which I think that's fine. Like I think EVO has enough cred that they can bring in like something for fun. Something
Sure.
like well
Yeah.
Little
This'll be a
lighter
fun
than
one.
Street
Oh, yeah.
Fighter. Let's
I should
ease
say
it
that.
up.
Yeah, Pokken's not one of the Sunday games. It's not one of the arena games.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like what we call number 10 when we do countdowns.
Yeah.
We're talking
Yeah.
about some game like we'll make that number 10.
Yeah, that's
Just
and that's
the
exactly
entry
what it
in there,
was.
It's like
Yeah.
we won't kick ourselves too much. We're like, should this have been on the list? It's like that's fun. It's number 10.
Yeah, and I bet actually that it will be a pretty hype stream. I bet like when it all comes down to it, it's going to be pretty fun to watch. So I shouldn't be too critical of it. Funny note also, before we move on, I found that article on ESPN.com. Isn't that crazy? I googled EVO lineup 2016.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my first story.
And aren't they gonna have some big stadium? Paolo was talking about this last night. Isn't like the finale gonna be in some
That's what you
crazy
just
stadium?
talking about
something?
earlier.
Yeah. The Mandalay Bay Event Center.
Oh right, that's right.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy, dude.
So, go Evo.
Go Evo. Always pumped for Evo to grow and expand. Next
Has
story.
anyone at this table ever been to Evo?
Never.
Never.
Yeah. Want to go?
I mean, yeah.
Fighting games intimidate the hell at me.
Yeah.
Or intimidate the hell out of me. I'm there to just do fatalities.
It's
You're
something
hired.
I'd much rather watch
Mike
on my
Huber
couch.
goes to Evo.
Yeah. We should
Evo hype.
send Huber to Evo.
Oh, send
Um,
Ben, dude. Ben would have a heart attack.
Ben would be too excited. We need the fear. The fear is what drives a good video.
I want you to go to Evo, make a video, and then make a video about Ben watching that video.
So this is
That's what
kind of
we're
just
doing.
this is a human interest piece, basically. Hideo Kojima and Mark Cerny have been traveling all of Sony studios in a worldwide tour, They've been to LA, they've been to San Diego, they've been to Bend, Oregon, they've been to London, Guildford, Amsterdam, and Paris. They've just been traveling all over, checking out the tech.
True Detective season 3.
Yeah, it's just so funny, and that's been happening. I think it's done. It was like a 10-day trip. Maybe it turned to 11 after some delayed flights. I don't know. There's not much to say about it. Definitely follow both of them on Twitter if you want to see images from this. They've been very public about it. It's just very interesting.
There's nothing to be gleaned from this. I mean, people are funny. Like, people are actually starting headlines. They're like, wait a minute. I think I got it. I think I know. I think I know what he's up to.
Yeah. It's don't bother. Yeah, I think it was for fun. I think it was just to... Sony recognizes Kojima as an asset, as a rock star, and I really appreciate that.
Well, this is the guy that did something with the PS1 controller no one else did. That whole gen, where it's like you had to take it out of 1 and put it into 2, you know, and like,
Sure.
well, that's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So like, they're like, just anything you want, any little nook or something with VR or Move or something, you know, and anything we missed, you know, that you think has potential.
Yeah. I bet that has to be so refreshing.
Get it in that game.
Coming from Konami, where you're dirt, and
Yeah.
then just like having this company just say like, "Hey, we love you."
Yeah.
What's so great about
you want.
What's great about Sony right now? You know,
Yeah.
like they do not mess around. They're like, any opportunity that pops up for them, they just, you know, they not only take full advantage of it, but they want you to know that they're taking full advantage of it too.
Yeah.
They're so adorable, man. There's like one where they're like out in the rain, and they both had umbrellas posing for the building. I'm just like, I love this.
So wait, do you
I
follow
love
them
this
both on
to
Twitter?
end. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's been fun to follow him on Twitter. Mark Cerny just joined Twitter and he's like killing it. Good job, dude.
My favorite thing about Sony lately is like they've really taken on this tactic of just like, hey, you know all those things that everyone wants? Let's just do that.
Yeah.
It seems to be, it's like a weird, like, it's like, why don't people do that for their business model?
But let's not do the. I mean, well, you know, it's like, if that was the case, then they would hire, you know, Kojima and treat him like crap. You know, it's like, let's not do that. Actually, let's do what people actually really want to happen.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, investing in this guy and, you know, letting him just
Yeah.
kind of run around and do what he does.
Reading the pulse, the power of the internet. As we go back to that, it's incredible.
It's paying off.
The more you do fan events, the better video games will become. I truly believe that. I think the more you read Twitter, the more you get it.
Will Kojima's game release before or after 2020?
Before 2020.
Before,
Before.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Before 2020. But
Will
a
it
good
be
question.
before or after Metal Gear Solid 6?
Ooh, good bet.
Yeah, you wish that game was
Great.
bad. No.
Five is a fun bet. Here's the thing, Huber. I think it might not take as long. I think he's going to have incredible support. And I think we see kind of why Metal Gear Solid 5 took so long.
The Fox engine, which
Yeah.
is no longer his. That's tragic to me. Is all the work that went into Fox engine to make MGS5 and
Yeah. Oh, you can still
Project
play...
Project Ogre and all that.
What
and
is Winning 11 called? Pro Evolution Soccer. You
Yeah.
can still play that or whatever. Yeah,
Thanks.
for your Fox engine.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, that is kind of a good point because at Konami, like, yeah, Kojima and then the guy, I mean, they were even in Europe or whatever. So the Castlevania guys, the Mercury Steam guys,
Yeah.
like they're the only ones that were like working in this kind of like big budget actor environment and like all of the things that put that together. Whereas Sony's got all of this. They've got all these specialists. They got all these like music guys and and motion capture guys, and it's like they've got all these resources available, to where he could just do a lot of his work at somebody else's space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The resources are going to be incredible.
What if it's like a dream team? They just like hire all these different studios to do different things.
And they're
Like,
gonna
yeah,
just,
we're calling in Insomniac. They're going to do
Guillermo.
weapon design.
It'll
We're
be
calling
like,
in so and so. They're going to do level design. It's like,
Well, a lot of those teams
from software.
like Naughty Dog and Guerrilla and a couple of other teams. I mean, they've got these sub teams that like just dig into the tech. They just dig into getting the most out of the hardware
Yeah.
and share it among all the different Sony developers.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Our TV's buckling.
Yeah. I hate smart TVs. Do you remember when oh, we have a smart TV. Look at our apps inside of this television. Just like, look what you did.
Yeah.
You're doing this to us
Apps in
right
a
now.
TV is bad.
You dumb idiots.
Terrible.
Okay. What if it's like Chrono Trigger? Here, when you said Dream Team, my immediate
Yeah.
first thought was Chrono Trigger. It's just going to be, it's a Chrono Trigger of a new generation.
Yes.
Thinking too high.
The fact that the TV is crashing right now. I don't.
That's
Smart
so
TV.
dumb. Smart. It's a smart
smart
TV.
TV.
It has apps. All right. It's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Okay, so this comes from Efrai Stellaire. We enjoy this question's from a while ago. I've been cautious about tackling it because it's so heavy, but I love this question.
Oh, jeez.
We enjoy playing games for very specific reasons. Among other things, they teach intellectual problem solving and motor skills, tell stories that communicate information, and enable us to see things from a new perspective, and sometimes strengthen or create social bonds. Having fun is the way our brain rewards us for doing something it deems useful. As we get better at understanding all of this, it gets easier for us to exploit players by making them want to play, in parentheses, and to pay, without actually fulfilling any of the positive characteristics of play. Many mobile games are taking this route. And even for other games, such as many modern MMOs or Diablo-type games, I'm having a hard time seeing more I'm having a hard time seeing more than a glorified Skinner box. To cut to the chase, do you think it's enough for a game to be fun, regardless of how the fun is achieved? Am I being a snob for wanting games to be more than a happiness hormones machine? End question.
I think he brings up a really good point because it's the RPG mechanic in every single game now. I feel like every game is level up, reward, reward, reward. Here, take this new gun, take this new skin, take this new item, take this new skill. And, you know, not to call any specific games out, but there are times when I play a game and it feels like I'm just checking the boxes and kind of going through the motions to go through them versus a game that just doesn't have any of that. That is like, here's the game, that's it. You don't have to worry about leveling up. Like Mario. You know, we talked about this when we streamed Super Mario. It's like, can you imagine if you had to learn skills and level up Mario? It's like, no, you have all your abilities and it just becomes about solving what's on the screen and getting through a stage. So I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, sorry to interject before getting all the panel in, but what you just said and just reading this question, it made me think a lot about why I think I am uniquely enjoying The Witness. Why The Witness feels refreshing is its game design structure.
Cool.
You know what I mean? It is not using. I get scared of the fun aspect. You know what I mean? The like, whoa, when a number pops up and then it's bigger, I'm having fun. Like, it's true. Game designers are getting better at making our brains think that we're having fun.
Yes.
I guess what we should talk about is, do games need to be more than that? Do they need to be more than fun?
I don't think anything needs to be anything, but like the things that I respect are like The Witness, where you level up the game, like you have all the capabilities from the start. Like Toki Tori 2, we were talking about that the other day. Like I haven't played it, but I watched a video about the game design, how it's like that. Like you can do everything from the start, and you just learn that you can
And
over the course of it.
You just
level
actually
up.
get better.
Yeah.
Without
And like that,
having
like,
a number next to your name.
The Souls
Yeah.
games are like a combination of the two, I think, where like, yeah, you do level up and your character does get stronger and you do get better items, but you also get better at the game. Like I've been playing Galaxy of Heroes, and it's literally just you trade your life to try to get Rey. And it's like, it's kind of fun, you know? And it's like, I'm not ragging on Galaxy of Heroes, but like it is a life destroyer.
Yeah.
And it's criminal, like
It's tricking us, Ian, and we're allowing it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you know that you're letting it,
Right.
it's fine. Like if you acknowledge what, like Hearthstone is the same. It, like there's more skill in Hearthstone and strategy and like battling another person, but like your brain still, like the little fireworks go off when you get the card you want. You know, it's like if you're aware of what you're doing and what you're allowing your time to be spent on or wasted on, then it's fine. Do what you want with your life.
That's why I think there's two questions here. It's
Okay.
like, is the main concern that we have that we need to see more games like The Witness from the industry, or is the question, how do I make myself happier playing games? How do I guarantee a happier experience? What do you think is the question?
The question is, yeah, you're
know
right.
what I mean?
Don't
Because-
acknowledge am I being a snob.
Because ultimately, I think if you want the industry to make more of these games, there's nothing you can do about it. You're powerless, and you just, you know, we all just kind of have to like coast on whatever trends or end up selling the most in this industry. If you want to be happier playing games, you need to recognize. I totally recognize Galaxy of Heroes is something that EA established working with Disney to make a ton
And
of money
psychologists.
off of the popularity of Star Wars. And they're
psychologists,
they're
yeah.
going to keep pumping out characters. They even actually just added Qui-Gon to the game.
I saw that.
And they posted a thing. It was so funny because I was reading it and I'm like, oh, classic EA, microtransaction bullshit. But then I'm reading it again and I'm like, well, they said that. Like the title was almost classic microtransaction bullshit. They were like, Qui-Gon, which you used to have to pay to get packs to unlock the shards that you need to get so many of to unlock Qui-Gon, you can now buy those off of something you can earn from stuff we give you for free. So your odds of getting Qui-Gon are better. If you're like, I want Qui-Gon, you can work towards Qui-Gon now. Where previously, you had to get lucky in order to actually, by this point, get Qui-Gon, which is why you don't see Qui-Gon in a lot of people's parties. So they were so upfront about being like, here is our completely arbitrary, meaningless, pay us or don't pay us rollout of how you're going to get these new characters. And I think it said in the end, the last sentence was like, we're going to do this. Get used to this because this is how characters are going to roll out in this game. And that's what that game is, how characters roll out and how they process microtransactions. That is the core of what that game is. And I can't stop playing it, and I enjoy it because in my brain, that's immediately where that goes. I recognize it for what it is, and I think you get frustrated when you go into something that's heavily microtransactioned and expect it not to be. You're like, you're really just rattling against your cage. You're like, I want this game to be something other than it is. I think the more you accept it, and if you allow it into your life, knowing what it's going to fulfill, it's supplanted Hearthstone for me. Like that, it's the game I play every morning now. That's it. And on the toilet. That's Galaxy of Heroes. So as long as you find that
Toilet
place in your
game.
life and
Yeah.
it fits it matches your expectations, then you'll be happy.
You're right, because you can't have strengthening social bonds and giving you new perspectives on the toilet. You know what I mean? I actually love that video games can give you a new perspective. They can teach you, can't teach you, but they can kind of influence you and be like, this is what it would be like to be this person. You know what I mean? And that's kind of cool. You're never fully ever going to be that person, but like to change perspectives. But you're right. Not all games can do that. You can't have that on the toilet. And so I can kind of see what you're saying there, Brandon. Where do you stand, Blood, with like the manipulation of fun?
Yeah, I think it's really easy, to find those like psychological positive feedback loops. Like a game like that, you could play that game with Twitter, basically, or Instagram. Like a lot of people do that. Like you put out posts that people like, and then you get addicted to this feedback loop of people commenting
I see
and
what you're
liking
saying.
and retweeting and all this kind of stuff. It's essentially the same kind of mechanic, as like you're getting followers and you're leveling up or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
But what's frustrating to me is how those things, being free and using in-app purchases and all these kinds of things, how they, number one, they rake in some ridiculous amount of money where this weird garbage game somehow can afford Arnold Schwarzenegger to, be on TV spots. And then, really worthwhile games can't afford to get attention. And then the other end of that is that because people expect these things for free, then, again, like going back to something like The Witness and the arguments that I've had with people, online this week, it's like, people see that and it looks like something that they played on their phone, and then they don't understand why they should pay $40 for a really excellently designed
sad.
puzzle game.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, I had a good buddy of mine last night say, hey, should I download The Witness? I'm like, yeah, dude. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, it's $40? I was like,
And
oh,
it's like
man.
most
Yeah.
games are $60
Yeah,
that you would compare
it's-
it to. Yeah.
It's $20 cheaper and 40,000 times better than every game you've paid $60 for.
Yeah. Yeah, Blood. Good, you nailed it there,
But
dude.
to
Yeah.
me, that's like, that's like somebody being like, I saw Ride Along 2 and it wasn't the sophisticated comedy I thought it would be. And you're like, it's a tough break. I don't know how to.
Wait, are you,
that doesn't seem like a
no,
conversation worth having.
You said that's like, so you're making a direct comparison
Right.
here. You're saying The Witness is like Ride Along 2,
No.
like for us to expect? Like,
I'm saying The Witness is not Ride Along 2. I'm saying Ride Along 2 is Galaxy of Heroes. So if I play Galaxy of Heroes expecting like, okay, I'm just going to unlock Stormtrooper Han and then I have my achievement for the day. Yay.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, now I got 3 hours to play something. I'm going to play The
Well,
Witness.
no,
Here we go.
movies are a weird comparison because movies generally you pay the same price for a ticket at a theater. Like
Very
no matter
true.
how good the movie is.
Yeah.
You
Well,
could pay
unless you're getting it for $3, months later,
Right. But I'm.
But
in other
even
words,
still, the best movies and the worst movies are $3 later.
This is true.
Yeah.
you're never.
Buying
You're never gonna
used.
get
Yeah.
to go see Ride Along 2 for free and then not want to pay $13.
Right.
to watch The Revenant.
I just think
But that guy that gets frustrated that $40 is too much for The Witness is like, don't play The Witness. Like you sound like the wrong consumer for this game. If you don't know that going into it, if you're like,
and that's the advice I can give is to not let it depress you, because we live in a time when there's so many choices and so much variety, and to just kind of, don't let it hurt your feelings, because there is something out there that you will love, and just choose what you want to play what you want to play.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I get that, Huber. And not everybody's going to love The Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It is line puzzles the whole time.
Yeah.
If I have to tell a friend, like, hey, yeah, it's all line puzzles, man. Like, yeah, like, what? No. Yeah, I get
But
it.
even I
Yeah.
I didn't.
There's so many different kinds of things you can do with those line puzzles.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's the fun of the game is. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking to one of our friends. So
Growing up,
I would never say it's just line puzzles, because
Right.
it's not.
Growing up, I love those things in
Yeah.
coloring books and stuff. Like, connect this line over to this dot.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff's awesome.
Well, like Blood had a quote the other day from some comment that was like, "I've had games like that on my phone for 10 years or whatever." And it's like that's what people think about this game if you say it's just line puzzles.
I see what you're saying. You're right. I'm giving that person the wrong impression
Yeah,
because it
you're
isn't
giving
at all
them
like
the
that.
absolute wrong impression.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had beautiful, perfect, artful experiences on my phone for never.
Yeah. So what I want to say is that
Monument Valley is pretty good.
Yeah,
there-
Monument Valley's cute. It was too easy though.
way
It's
too
true.
short.
Yeah, really short and really easy.
Yeah. $40 is still a lot of money. I can acknowledge that.
It's more the problem with The Witness is $40 is $20 more than everyone assumed it would cost.
Yeah.
Even me, when I saw it
Yeah.
was 40, I was like, oh, 40?
Yeah.
Click. Like, I had that second. Like, I've been waiting for this game for 4.5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And I still went, oh, it's $40?
Yeah.
All right. And then Blood was like, this game is like 400 hours long. Like
So-
30 or 40. But
Right.
yeah.
I can say that it is comparative to the enjoyment you could get from a $60 game. You know what I mean? And you could safely say that with that game. So yeah, $40 is still a lot
Exceeds
of
it.
money. Yeah, but it's-
Blows it out of the sky.
Yeah. So thank you, Fry, for your question. We appreciate that kind of discussion.
Just be able to drown it out. When you see a bunch of games you don't like, don't let it
Yeah.
affect your psyche. That's
You don't have time
that's-
to play them anyways.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no time to play all these games. So really, just zone in on the ones you love.
And actually, something Ian brought up pretty early is that even if they do have these kind of Skinner box, even if you do have leveling up, it doesn't discredit the entire game. Like Bloodborne, you know what I mean? Like the Souls games he said, I think, is that there is leveling up. There's dumb, easy, cheap, fun aspects to that game, but there's still also gratifying ones. So it's never one or the other.
Well,
Yeah.
and also
Because it's still on you, regardless of your
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Usually,
And don't be afraid of realizing you've reached a point of diminishing returns. I've had a few moments like that. Galaxy of Heroes is my recent example, so I'm just using that. But I've had moments where I'm like, this is not worth my time. I know as soon as I get Ray, I would stop playing that game forever. And so I'm just gonna make the choice to stop playing that game now.
Yeah.
To save myself the time. There are
Ian,
better
you're-
things I could be doing.
you're really good at that, and that's what Brad has just started doing too. It's I don't have to play this.
Yeah.
Right.
I can say no. Do I really need to play this
Make
game?
2016 the year of no.
Yeah.
Say no
after
to
I
more
bought the
games.
second
'Cause there's so
Hearthstone
much.
expansion for $20 and never
Yeah.
played it,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
There's so many games, and they're so long. It's
If you would like to submit a topic for love and respect, please do so in the YouTube comments, beginning your comment with love and respect in all caps, so it's easier for me to find them. And thank you. We'll move on. It's time for bets. So here's this week's bet. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
You're hyped.
I'm so hyped for this. Comes out on Tuesday. Okay, yeah. When I have in the script, I'm very excited about this. That'd be redundant. Anyway, when I start the game on Tuesday, and including MON, obviously, how many letters will be in the name of the first Digimon I battle in this game? In game. You know what I mean? If we're looking at cutscenes, that doesn't count. We're talking about the first in-game turn-based RPG battle.
And this game has these battles.
Yes.
Okay. Cyber Sleuth isn't that's not
Like a visual novel? No,
like
it's-
Pikachu Detective or something. It's not like some crazy offshoot.
We didn't even mention Pikachu, Detective Pikachu.
yeah.
That got announced this week.
Pikachu talked, man.
I heard
Yeah.
about it, but I don't have a clue what it is.
You have to watch. That's one of the things you have to watch that
Yeah.
trailer.
Okay.
That is, you need to like, whatever. Song of the Sea, Song of the Deep,
Song of the Deep.
Song of the South, Song of the Deep. You get it. You have a perfect visualization of what that is without watching the trailer. Detective Pikachu, you're not prepared. You're not prepared right now. You have to watch that trailer. Anyway, oh yeah. First, so Hubert, you'll go first. Super Seat. How many letters will be in that first Digimon's name?
8.
Bloodworth.
I'm betting on like a Chabuman or something.
This is close. This is close. 9.
9 for Bloodworth.
Price is
Tied with
right.
the Super Seed at 8.
Okay.
Ties again.
Kyle, I hope you have 10, or I hope you have 10. That's the best bet.
I took 7. I think 10 is the best bet.
Ooh.
10. I wish I had
7.
10. Why didn't I have
No,
10?
Blood one again.
7 is like Gabumon. 7 is Numamon.
It's gonna be 14.
Agumon
Blood's
is
gonna
7.
win.
You know,
Let's-
there's a
can
lot
we
of
just
sevens.
Please move on.
Yeah.
Because he's got the high bet. I'm gonna lock those in.
But I'm gonna have a rough because I'm not gonna be here the next 3 weeks.
Oh gosh. Wait. So as of next week, you're gonna be gone, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's worth announcing.
Yeah. I'll be.
If I'm-
I'll be gone.
Do
for
we know
two-
what we're gonna do in the absence of blood?
I think. Ooh. I don't know. Maybe
We're
we'll just
losing
do
blood.
a three-peat.
Bloodworth, the only.
Spring break!
I would say I'm an honorable betting man. The only person I would ever even consider sabotaging would be Kyle Boss. So
Yeah.
if I'm ever in your seat, you're in good hands.
I mean, this is a conversation we should have off air, but it's like, what do we do with the Bloodworth seat? Oh, we'll
What do
figure it
you
out.
do with a bloodwort seed?
What do you do with a bloodworth seed?
What
Okay.
do you do with a bloodwort seed?
All right. Okay.
In
So
the morning. Also, what the hell is the deal with this buzz into the vault? You do it about like 30% of the time.
Oh yeah.
I've got that sound prepped, and then half the time you don't do it, and I got to switch it to the last second. I don't know when it's coming.
Ian, can you buzz us into the vault?
Oh
No,
my
it's too late. You
god,
can't-
you jerk!
Let's talk about last week's bet. Ooh, this one got bungled.
Oh
This
yeah.
bet
yeah,
got
yeah.
bungled.
Botched.
So here's what happened: is we're gonna bet on the game called Derby Owners Club, Don's favorite at Dave & Buster's, because we were all there last Friday.
oh yeah.
Don said that this game gives you tickets, and so we bet on how many tickets the game would give us.
Can I put a quick aside? There are not really good video games at Dave & Buster's.
Time Crisis.
Dude, Dark
5.
Escape 4D.
And
Boston and I played the
Monopoly.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
We dumped $40 into that
Ben
thing.
and I
beat it.
Ben and
Wow.
I full playthrough Time Crisis 5 and it froze on like the second to last boss.
That's not right. That ain't right.
We had pumped like $20 into that thing, froze.
Well, froze is kind. Froze means a hardware error. It literally
Yeah.
like because it says wait every now and then.
Yeah.
And it was just wait.
Yeah. What Dave & Buster's has is a serious lack of games with an
Fighting?
arcade stick and buttons. Yeah, fighting games are included in that. Side scrollers are included that. Like you need that.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing
Arcades
I'll
need
say
that.
for Dave & Buster's that I cannot say for round 1 in Puente Hills. The games aren't broken. We
Hubert
went
just had
to
a broken
Puente Hills.
game.
broke.
Right.
It
All right.
broke.
That's fine. The game froze. When we went to Puente Hills, the Silent Hill game was missing one of the guns and the 3D glasses were ripped off. Dark Escape had no 3D glasses and one of the
Chaos.
controllers didn't work. Everything was covered in vomit. It was disgusting.
Everything
Whoa.
was covered in vomit.
You had
Yeah.
to wade through like ankle deep vomit just to get in here.
Teenagers, man. It's all teenagers.
Teenagers.
But yeah,
It's these damn
It's
teenagers.
teenagers.
It is super weird to me that they don't have like any kind of fighting games in there.
Yeah, you gotta
Dude.
get yourself a
I
fighting
was
game.
just playing Monopoly.
All right, so we had that situation. We definitely consulted Judge Ian. We tried to figure out a solution, and here's what we came up with. We would bet on...
Wait, did you actually explain the situation?
Yeah. Can
Yeah,
you get
no,
tickets?
no tickets.
He said tickets. No
we,
tickets.
We bet on tickets. The game does not give out tickets anymore. So we're going to bet on Don's first horse race. Each of the 4 panelists had to bet who would win first, second, and third of Don's race.
Do you know the tickets go to the card now, right?
There's like no tickets.
Oh, okay.
There's, yeah, not even digital
sorry.
tickets.
Sorry.
And it should be noted, like Don's horse that he had only won one time.
Sure, if you want some context, yeah,
Yeah,
because
he used his horse from a previous.
he did warn us before we all bet on the race that his horse was not a winner. The name of his horse was Don's Easy Money.
All capitalized except for the S.
If you want to, by the way, if you want to watch the actual race, we're going to put it at the end of this video and podcast if you want to listen to it. Okay, so here's what happened. The race was happening. They like line up and they had stats for each horse and they had like funny names and they came up and so we all wrote down quickly the numbers, or for Brandon's case, the name of the horse that they think will get first, second, and third. Don raced. Don's Easy Money came in first place.
Wow.
The
Never
runt.
bet against Don.
The runt
And
of the
I
litter.
put him at second like a sucker.
Oh
Me
my
too.
gosh, you gotta bet on Don. Who's
think-
betting against Don?
And I think Jones was
These
in
two
like
right
one of
here.
the names.
Oh,
Like, one of
No,
the
no,
names.
betting against Don would have said, "Oh, I'm not putting Don in the top 3."
Yeah. Sunday's Paper came in second place, and Garden of Eden came in third.
I did not.
Sunday's,
Sunday's
paper.
Paper.
Good
Sunday's Paper.
name.
Yeah.
Awesome name.
Really good name.
Horse names are hilarious.
So here's what happened. Brad and I both had Don first, of course. Why would
Yeah.
you bet against Don? And we both have Garden of Eden in third. We tied. We both get a point.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
you don't do tiebreakers anymore?
We do tiebreakers for all of the fun things that happen afterwards.
That's right, that's right.
So Huber, that means you and I have to do the tiebreaker.
Okay.
So Ian, what that means is that you will have to say go. You'll have to come up with a category for us to come up with words in.
Okay.
Not strong female characters.
I got it.
Okay. Not countries. I think those are the ones we've done already.
I've got one.
Okay. Ian has a category for us. Super seat.
I can't handle the pressure.
I'm sorry, you have to go first because you have the most points. And so you will go first, I will go second.
Are you ready?
I think we're ready. Ian.
I'm
Or-
ready.
Okay.
All right. I will say the category,
Yeah.
and then I will go 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Places from the Star Wars universe. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mos Eisley.
Dagobah.
Naboo.
Kashyyyk.
Hoth.
Tatooine.
Coruscant.
Ooh, that was mine. I'm out.
I think that's
Well
the longest
done.
we've
Yeah,
ever
that was
gone
the
on that
best
game
we've ever
ever.
done. I was like, we know these. I know we know
Yeah.
these. We know these better than real
Yavin
places.
4. It came into me way too late. Yavin. Oh, man. Good.
I was a little nervous about that because you said places, and it's like, what if someone says like the tree on Dagobah? It's like, is that a place? Like, I
That-
get it.
I
it's
mean,
technically-
named
If you
places.
name Jabba's
I would
palace.
I would accept Jabba's palace,
Yeah.
cities and planets.
I think
basically.
Jabba's Palace would be cheating though, because we already did Tatooine. I think you did Jabba's Palace before Tatooine.
If you said like Bespin Cloud City and then someone said Bespin and then the next person was like
Yeah.
Hoth, I'd be like, all right, fine.
All right. Well,
Whatever.
Huber, well won, dude. You nailed it, dude. We were both calm too. I think the key is like calm.
Calm.
Yeah.
Don't rush him out. Just
Yeah.
like be in the zone.
Be calm.
Yeah.
Also, it's to me, it's more interesting. I think now I've learned to do things that I think both people are confident in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't try to stump people because then it's not fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good.
I like the Kashyyyk got mentioned too.
Yeah.
Kashyyyk.
This
Yeah.
might be the longest episode of this show ever.
Oh no. Really?
Oh, and actually, yeah, we're running long. Okay, so Super Seat has 3 points. Of the 3 weeks of the 2016 season, the Super Seat has lost 0 times.
Yes.
Blood, you have 0 points. Jones, you have
Yes.
0 points. I have 1 point.
0 points in a 3-week break.
Take that.
Blood's having a rough start to the season.
Take that, panelists.
Huber, what you've won because you won the tiebreaker, you've won the rights and responsibility to tell everyone what your Twitter handle is. You get to promote any video you like from game trailers. You get to give the final word on anything you've disagreed with that happened throughout this entire episode. And you get to sign us off with your trademark sign off.
Cool. I'm at Michael P. Huber. Ben Moore has been cranking away on some XCOM stuff, so check out XCOM 2 preview.
Won't be. Oh, the preview.
The preview and any day, imminently, within a week or so. Ben Moore's XCOM 2 review.
You know what I appreciate about that, Huber? You've been working on your own game,
Yeah.
and you don't even like.
Let's not name it right now because the thing's not up until tomorrow morning.
That's nice. It's nice of you to like promote Ben and the hard work he's doing, I guess.
I disagree. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not niche at all. It's a worldwide phenomenon.
We're gonna have a consensus on this word.
Oh, niche versus niche?
It's niche.
It's niche. I go with Ian. He's a literal master,
I'm
linguistics
also very
master.
pretentious. I say pecan.
I'm sorry, did you get to finish your final word,
And
though?
the final word. Play what you want to play.
I love.